anyone that didn't already see you on the last episode.
So, I'm Liz, TOOLIZZFORYOU, to Liz for You, on Ravelry and Instagram. And Stephanie came over to interview us, I guess. And we're here with also my
Carolyn. I'm CPREDMOR on Instagram and Ravelry because it's how I think of myself. It's a very old first part of email. When email first started, that was me.
Because it could only be 8 characters long.
8 characters. It had to be your first initial, and then, so that's me. And that's how I think of myself. It's either that or Dr. P. Because I'm also a professor at Manhattan College, and I sign my emails Dr. P. Which I guess I'm semi-informal.
Yeah.
Not informal, but not very formal, so semi-informal. And yeah, I've been knitting since I was 5, when my mom taught me in self-defense, because I was one of those annoying children that wanted to be into everything.
Yeah.
And if she was doing it, I had to do it. So she got me some Red Heart and some knitting needles and just sat me down and showed me there. And I've been knitting ever since. So.
And then how did this one pick it up?
That's a great question, because I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I know I did it when I was little.
I remember teaching you how to sew.
Yeah, I remember it because we still have that jumper.
Yes.
Yes. You have the jumper
And the faces
knitting.
on the...
Yeah. I don't remember.
I think the knitting was by osmosis.
It might have been. I mean, I remember...
Because the sewing was deliberate.
Yeah, the sewing was deliberate because I was that child who wanted to do everything Mom was doing.
Which is fine, I understood.
Yes, but she was also making quilts at that time. And they were pieced quilts. And like applique pieced quilts. So they were delicate and intricate. And this one right here.
At 6,
decided that I knew better than the pattern. And I screwed up one panel. And that was when Mommy taught me how to quilt. And since then, whenever we sew, I pin and cut the fabric or the quilt, and I usually, when we did quilts when I was in middle school and high school, I did all of the applique pieces.
Right.
And then Mom does all of the sewing.
Yes.
Just because it works out to our advantage, just the way our brains work.
That and my machine was better than your machine. I now have the better machine?
No, you still have the better machine.
Yes.
My grandmother 2 Christmases ago?
Yeah.
2 Christmases ago, decided that she no longer could use her own machine, which is a very, very nice Husqvarna Viking machine.
Computerized.
It's quite pricey.
And it's also intricate, and it has little tiny detail things that and she can't see that well.
Right. And it was also, and so she didn't want to sell it, and so she wanted to give it to someone, and so she was like, would you like it? I almost started crying.
Yes, please.
So I have it. It's in my bedroom, actually. It's not set up right now, but I have it. She gave me the traveling case for it. She gave me all the, I was just like, this is insane. But Mom has the newer one, the newer Viking, and we actually made my winter coat on that. But yeah, I remember the sewing.
So I would do the sewing because it was my machine, and it was a computerized machine. So rather than run the risk of something going
me pressing
wrong,
too many buttons,
it was just easier for me to run the machine. So we did well as a team.
Yeah, we do well as a team. I mean, because I definitely didn't learn how to knit from Nana, because I knit differently than Nana does.
Must have been for me, because we used to throw the same way.
Yeah, you've changed how you throw.
Because Nina Phillips
the
has shown
knitting expert.
The way that she throws. So I've tried to adopt that to some extent to get a little faster.
Okay.
Because I want to knit all the things.
Yeah.
I really do want to knit all the things. I mean, the thing about the yarn.
I introduced her to the Allie Brosh Do All the Things Hyperbole and a Half comic, and ever since then it's been downhill with the all the things meme. She's all about the all the things meme. Knit all the things, do all the things, clean all the things, drive all the ways, go all the places. I will get text messages of just that phrase in different like formats.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. Well, when it sticks, it sticks.
oh, she is all into it.
Yeah, I've got. Well, I've got this energy that is go 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 until it's
Not
done. And it's really one of those things where I'm on or I'm done, and it is what it is.
I think I'm kind of like that
Yeah,
too.
just I'd love to do all those things. So anyway, that and then
So
we
yeah,
just-
but I definitely think you taught me because I throw the same way you used to.
I just don't remember doing it.
I don't either. I know in high school, I tried, like in high school, I tried to start knitting again, and then you got frustrated with how slowly I was knitting something, and so then you took over. That's that big blue ribbon thing that you have the red one of as well.
Right. Yes.
Oh, it's
God,
a ribbon,
yes.
and we bought it at where did we buy that one? That
It
wasn't
was I think it was down in Cape May Courthouse.
I think so too.
No, Cape May.
Cape May, that one
The
down,
little store down in Cape May, New Jersey.
But that was more than 10 years ago.
If you were in high school.
I was definitely more than 10 years ago. But that's the first thing I remember us knitting together.
Right.
Because then I had that purple thing that we showed. We have a podcast as well. Knitting in Our Jeans. We're also
That's
on
us.
YouTube. And but I think I showed it in like our Christmas episode or something around there. It's a purple eyelash art yarn grossness. And I loved it.
Cute at that time.
I loved it.
Yes.
And I did
Very
knit
proud
that
of
one my entire set, like entirely myself.
I
and then
remember
I
that since high school you've been
Yeah.
very active in it,
Well,
but I
no,
don't remember.
in high school I wasn't really, and then it got to college, and it was
I
my
said since high school.
since high school, yes. But then in college I started because I saw that Vogue knitting pattern.
Yes.
So the
But
summer
then your
before
friends were
my
doing things too.
yeah, and then I found out that my friends like did stuff too. But
By the way, that blue yarn mohair, how much of that do you have?
I have it
All
for
the
heels.
stash.
I have it for heels. No, you
Oh.
can't have it for heels. It's for my heels.
I was thinking of a sweater.
I don't have, I think, enough of it for a sweater.
All right. Because at one time I was going to make that dress. Yes. Go ahead.
So it's Vogue knitting. It's got to be summer, or it came out summer of 2007. So I don't know what issue that is, but it's Vogue knitting. It's a mohair lace feature, and it's three different dresses were in it in that feature, and it's the cover feature.
Okay.
And it's like mohair lace dress number 7 or something is the dress that I decided I was going to make for my college graduation.
Oh, wow.
I decided it was going to take me a year, so I bought the yarn off of Webs. That was my very first Webs order. I ordered Cascade, Kid Silk, Haze,
Uh-huh.
because it called for art yarn and stuff, and I was like,
Oh my God.
how about no? I am on a college student budget. We're going with Cascade, Kid Silk,
Yes.
Haze, same fiber content. I did buy the art yarn for the sparkly bits in the bodice.
Okay.
I got that from the old place in Garden City. The place that
Did
they
you?
were not very
Yes.
nice.
They were
They were
on
not very nice.
Franklin Avenue. No.
Yeah.
They weren't.
They were very
friendly.
prescriptive because I
Yes.
told her what I was making, and she pulled out the magazine. She goes, "Oh, you need all this yarn?" And I was like, "No, I need that skein. Like I need one. I just want the sparkly stuff." And she was like, "No, you need all of this." And I wanted to be like, "I'm sorry, I don't have $1,000 to spend on this.
A dress.
Like,
Did
you
you-
gotta be kidding me?"
Did you make it in blue like the picture?
No, I made it in pink. So
Okay.
I knit it. I ended up having to frog it completely back in
Which is
January.
Not easy with that
No,
yarn.
in January. I had to do it in So I started it in June, July, or August of 2007. January 2008, I had to frog it because I wasn't reading the patterns correctly.
Oh,
So Mom and I
no.
sat down and had a intensive, what is chart reading, like how do you do this? Once I figured it out, I was flying. I finished up to the skirt by spring break, so by March. And then I had And then I realized that the pattern it was a drop waist.
Oh.
I have a very short waist. Like, I have about 4 inches between my fullest bust and my actual waist on myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't work. Drop waisted things do not work on me.
Right.
And so I was like, well, crap. I can't make this dress the way it's written. But at that time, I didn't have the knowledge to actually edit it. So I decided, well, I'm going to see how much of this bodice I can get through by graduation. I pulled more all-nighters on that dress than I did for my senior thesis in engineering.
Yeah.
I was pulling all-nighters.
We made a slip an underslip for it in a really pretty periwinkle. And the night before my graduation, I stayed at the hotel with my parents. I knit through the night. I got 2 hours of sleep, maybe
3.
Yeah, like we barely got sleep that night. Mom sewed me into the dress. So that I could
sew the slip.
Sewed the knitting to the slip that was still on like a just waist yarn through the because I didn't get to finish it. So she sewed me to it. It still looked beautiful. But I needed to be able to wear it to graduation because I had been knitting it during classes.
And the professor needed to see it.
Unfortunately, this was May.
A very warm May.
In Philly, very warm May. I almost passed out. So the way my graduation...
warm.
Mohair is very warm.
Yeah.
So graduation...
Especially with a slip.
Yeah. So my graduation was set up where we had a morning engineering recognition where you like got your stuff was the morning Saturday. Then Saturday afternoon we had baccalaureate mass.
Right.
And then Sunday was commencement. And I was going to wear it all day Saturday.
Yes.
I wasn't going to wear it Sunday because Sunday I had to do other things I wasn't going to wear. My mom, my grandmother and I walk from my apartment on campus to the event. We sit there, we get seats, everything. My father comes with my other set of grandparents and my grandfather. And we sit down and I'm sitting there and we do the whole thing and we get back to my apartment after graduation, and my mom and my dad went to go get some more food because we didn't have enough of, I guess it was peppers or something. We were making fajitas because it was easy and that's what we had to do.
Yep.
And I pull my grandmother back into my bedroom and I go, "You need to cut me out of this now." And she goes, "You don't look good." I was like, "I'm going to pass out." And she immediately grabs nail clippers. She doesn't even find scissors. She sees nail clippers on my desk. She starts clipping me as she sees where it's sewn to it. She clips me out of it. And I just stand there like this for a good 10 minutes.
Oh,
and my other grandmother is in the room and my other grandfather, they're like, "Are you okay?" And my grandmother goes, She's fine. We'll be out in a minute." But that was my very first large project that I remember.
Oh my god. Did you ever finish
I ripped it out to the skirt. I frogged it to the skirt. I have now knit back halfway through the bodice after figuring out that I need to do... So it calls for 2 different charts in the bodice and that you do them 2 times for one and I think 3 times for the other. I only need to do 1 time of each. But the way it's all written out, I have this giant chart. It's in the closet. I would get it, but it's this giant chart. And it's just very tedious. And the mohair is, it pisses me off, honestly. So I want to get it done. I will get it done. It will be done.
Christmas dress.
It will. And I think I might, because it has little straps. It has I-cord straps. I think I might end up making little flutter sleeves.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be pretty.
That would be nice.
In either the white or the pink mohair.
Yep.
That'll be nice.
But yeah, that dress. But ever since then, I've been knitting up a storm.
What are you making right now?
Right now, so a friend of mine is pregnant, and she had said about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that if she ever got pregnant, she wanted a Link costume, from Legends of Zelda, for her baby.
Okay.
And so this is a free pattern. It's a very good pattern. If you know how to do a lot of this stuff, it's really nice because So I've done most of the tunic. I haven't done the, so I've done the tunic, except for the sleeves, and the belt buckle. So I'll do that later. But the directions for the flared part they're very good for someone's first pattern and it being free. It's just not very descriptive in the way that you would, like, it's supposed to be flat. It's supposed to be flat side increases on the sides, and then increases on the sides and in the middle and the back. It's not written that way. Like, it's written to only increase on this side on the front, and then on the back you increase here, increase here, increase here, and increase here. So there's no matching increase in the beginning of the front.
Huh.
Yeah, it's written a little funky. But if you know how to do it, it's fine. I fixed it myself. And so the baby is going to be about 4 months at Halloween. So I went up a needle size. I think that will be sufficient enough for, a 4 to 6 month old.
Where's the baby live?
Baby lives in Seattle.
Okay, so it's chilly-ish.
So it's chilly-ish.
It'll be cute.
It'll be super cute. She was so funny. She goes, I need to find yarn, and I was like, or I could just make it free for your baby shower, because I got invited to her baby shower in Maryland, where her family is from.
Is she a knitter
she's
too?
She's a ref.
Okay.
I met her on Ravelry. We've done swaps together. Like, I've met her in person a few times. But it was just very funny because she was like, you could do that, I guess. So right now I'm making the hat that he wears, the elf hat. Like, if you put it up straight, it'd look like an elf hat, but it's not. It folds down.
It looks like a ski hat.
It does look like a ski hat. So I'm casting on for that, and trying to, because I don't have enough yarn to finish it, so I'll have to go and get another skein. I'm making it out of Barocco Vintage. So it's 50% acrylic, 50% superwash merino, because I didn't want to. It calls for Red Heart super soft, and I was like, I like this woman. She's a knitter. Like, why not make it out of Barocco? It's just as and Barocco is just as washable. Like, the vintage, just as washable, just as workable. So but that's what I'm working on right now in my hands.
What about you?
I am working on a summer tee. It's called Willow, and I don't remember. I think I paid for it, but there's no directions.
That looks so familiar to me. I think I may have seen that when I was trying to choose a pattern. I didn't end up going with that one, but I'm making something similar.
So I am just a row away from getting to the armholes on the back. The front's done, and I would have brought it, but
it was blocking.
It's blocking, and it's still wet. Cotton takes a little bit longer to dry.
Yep.
I'm making it out of something I had in stash. A friend of mine downsized from her house to a condo, and I guess a year and a half ago, she arrives at work and she's got this humongous plastic bag filled with yarn. It's interesting because she apparently loves cotton.
Okay.
No, it was Janet Rovenborg.
Oh my goodness.
Who knew?
Janet knits?
Yeah, cotton. And so
I've known this woman my entire life. I did not know this woman knits.
I was surprised too. So this is Rowan, help me here.
Comfort? Calmer.
Calmer, that's it. Calmer. And it was in a bag of 10. I mean, she's just offloading the stuff. So anyway, I had it.
Yeah.
I finished the front, as I said, and then what I've got is a different one, again, from the bag. Whoops.
How are you liking knitting with that cotton?
It's stretchy.
Okay.
Rowan Calmer also is discontinued now.
Okay.
Right. But it's stretchy. It's got elastic in it.
That's nice, because I find...
See?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I normally find cotton to be very hard on my hands. I made a sweater for my grandmother, and
out
I
of
was...
what? Which...
Something like this,
it will, but it didn't have stretch.
See, this is going to be my I-cord
Yeah.
for the decoration. That's going to be different. But this has so much stretch in it that
is
it feels
nice.
okay.
Good.
Yeah.
See, I have the Pima cotton from Nerd Girl Yarns, which I've made mitts out of. I've made a few other things out of it for friends. I have my best friend from college is allergic to wool, so I've made her stuff out of that, and it's lovely to knit with.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. It's lovely. It's a little tough. Like, it doesn't have the stretch like that, but it's still really lovely comparative to, like, dishwash cotton.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Dishy.
Which, it's not, that stuff is just kind of hellish. But this
it is
it's
for one
glorious.
purpose only.
Yeah, no,
It really
the
is.
Nerd Girl is absolutely glorious.
So that's the thing I have on the needles now, and I'm hoping to actually finish it tonight because the Grammys are on tonight. I've got an evening.
I didn't even realize that.
I've got an evening of knitting.
She said it.
It's what I'm going to be doing all day. So I think I can finish the back,
Okay.
which will be good.
Oh
And-
yeah, you're bottom up to the armhole.
Yeah,
right?
I'm at the armhole. I mean, I'm one row away from the armhole, so I think that it'll come in, so I have even fewer stitches.
Mhm.
I'll be able to finish the back and get that done. Then I've got, I think I showed you what did I do with it? I belong to the Harry Potter Club. And so we
The
have
Harry Potter
knitting and
crocheting
club.
house cup.
Yes.
It motivates us to knit more.
I'm incredibly competitive and have been all my life. If there's a way to get points for something,
Even if it's internet
imaginary
points.
internet points that are useful for nothing, it is a motivator. And I do have whips that are unfinished, but they will get finished. There's no, I mean, I've been knitting on one cardigan that everybody else has that begins with an F.
Featherweight.
My featherweight, thank you. So
God, you frogged that like 3 or 4 times too.
I know, and I'm knitting away on it, and it'll get finished, but it's not something that I'm driven to finish. But I've got a bunch of things. I've got now all the whips are arranged in their own bags so that I'll be able to pick them up and finish them. So yes, that'll get done. But we have classes. So there's classes each month. And you can do 1 to 6 classes. You need to do one thing to stay in your sorting order to be included next time. And I like it because it's a group of women that are really supportive.
There are some men.
Yeah, there are some men. But whoever is involved is usually incredibly supportive, which is really nice. And it gets me to finish things, which is also nice. And I'm learning a whole lot. Now, I've been knitting for decades now, and I never thought of felting anything. And now if something's a little large, I'll just say, I'm going to felt that a little bit. It'll be fine. And, and
she gets out the potato masher.
About sweaters even?
Oh,
anything.
Anything. Slippers, I just get in there with my potato masher and just felt it a little. So if I'm doing it manually rather than in the washing machine,
you have more control over
much
it.
more control.
She gets
and
so
I
excited.
mash it.
And it's potato mashing time.
That's right. And so that you get a hot pot and you're mashing it in there, and then you put it in the cold water, and you've got control over how much shrinkage you're getting, and that's fine. And I've felted hats that way. It works, and you've got to go with it. I'm learning double knitting. So sock petition, Nathan. I don't know whether you watch him or not.
I'm aware.
Okay, so I started his Remember Cal, and I wrote him a note and said it's going to take me a year, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And then
it's a beautiful cowl based on it's a poppies for Remembrance
and I have the right
Day or
colors. I
Veterans Day.
ordered Miss Babs to get the colors, so I've got my colors, and
she hasn't started.
I haven't started. And then we had Elizabeth Warren in the Senate this past week.
Yeah.
Nevertheless. And I'm going to create a double knitted scarf that says, nevertheless, she persisted. Because I've lived my whole life under that. I've lived my whole life being told you can't do that, or why would you do that? No one will like you after that. I can remember being 13 and someone saying, so what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said, I want to be a doctor. And someone turned around and said, who's going to marry you if you're that? And my response was, well, I hope someone who loves me. I remember going to college, and they say, look to the right and to the left of you, and 2 of you will be gone because there's attrition. And then the professor, and this was at University of Virginia, the first year that we're
in chemistry.
first year we're integrated, men and women, and he said, and you women don't belong here. You're taking the place of a man who should be here. And we looked at each other and said, S-Y. Because we're here and you're just going to have to deal with it. So nevertheless, we persisted. My best friend from that year became a nephrologist. You know, it's like, I think that with adversity, some of us become like steel. And like, we're really sweet on the outside and I'll give you the biggest hug if you need it, but you know what? You are not walking over me. You just are not. So my first job, I worked for a railroad. And I interviewed with them as I was graduating from college. They didn't want me. I went on to graduate school in clinical psychology. And I got a phone call at the beginning of my second year, and they wanted to interview me again, and they wanted to offer me a job. And I said, no, I'm finishing what I started. I'm getting this degree. It was a 2-year degree. And the guy was going, what? I said, no, I'm finishing this. I do not start something that I don't finish. And he recovered
Sometimes
himself.
we do that with books, though.
Yeah,
Sometimes
well.
a book is just, it's just too much.
Too upsetting. So he said, well, can I call you during the rest of the year? I said, be my guest. I love talking to you. Not a problem. And by December, he said, well, how about if you go talk to our district sales manager who's in Baltimore, which is where I was going to school. I said, that'd be fine. Remember, I'm in psychology. We talk to people. Mm-hmm. This is like inviting me out to tea. So I go in, I talk to the man, and he's been working there for 30 years, and he tells me all about his job, and it sounds lovely. And he says, well, why do you want to do this? I said, you just got over telling me you would do this again if someone offered it to you. Why wouldn't I want that kind of job? Mm-hmm. I said, sounds great. All my life, I've had jobs where people said, what are you doing? Nevertheless, I persisted. There's something that strikes so deep within my heart that of course she persisted. And what could have been damaging to be reading something from Coretta Scott King? I don't care what your persuasion politically is. It's just a letter, and it had already been written to the Senate. It's not something that was out of the blue. So
it's already in the books, in the minutes of the Senate. It's already there
It's already there.
It's already there.
So, and never mind that they didn't make fun, they didn't call out the person who made fun of our Senator Schumer, mm-hmm. who was making comments about him being so upset and emotionally involved in whatever was going on. I can't remember.
That he was the DeVos. I think it was DeVos.
Right, that he was tearing up. So, different standards. And I think it's based on gender, and I'm so tired of this. I think it's really important for you to persist in something that you really want to do. Whatever it may be, I just think it's incredibly important. So I'm going to design the scarf, and it may take me God knows how long.
We're going to put the pattern up.
I'll put the pattern, once we get it done, we'll put the pattern up, and it will be done. And thanks, Nathan, to make me see that I can do this. Mm-hmm. And I think Nathan will understand this whole feeling of nevertheless, she persisted.
Michael and Tanya really like the idea too.
So, kudos to Nathan. I never would have considered that I could do this without him, doing the tutorials and saying, you can do this one stitch at a time. So I've learned so much out of this community that I really love it.
And what really got her going, and sorry that she just went on that whole rant on the podcast. She gets emotional. Was because Nerd Girl Yarns actually just came out with a colorway called Nevertheless. She persisted, and it's a hot pink. It's gorgeous. She also got 2 other new colorways. One is Votes for Women. It's purple and yellow, and Yellow Ribbon, which is a yellow that actually coordinates with the yellow in Votes for Women. Nice. So she's going to use Nevertheless and Ninja, which is the black that
so it's black and pink. In the shimmer, so it sparkles.
Yep.
She was like, I'm
your
done.
face.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're going to design
this afternoon.
This afternoon, probably.
So you just start with graph paper, basically.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And I've ordered the yarn, so it should be coming in, I think, by the end of this week. It's coming into school mail. So
it'll be at least 2 weeks.
Right.
She's
right.
I know she's swamped.
I'm sure she is.
Because she put it up 2 days ago.
Thursday.
When did I text? Thursday. And she
must
posted
have sold out instantly.
She does
Dyed
on
to order.
demand.
Oh.
Yeah. She posted,
that is stressful though.
but at the same time, like with a colorway like that, she was like, I'm not doing an Instagram. It's done. It's a new colorway. It's gonna be in my colorway catalog. These 3. And she posted that she was gonna do it, and everyone on Facebook, those of us who are in like the group and who follow her and are we were like photos. Yeah. Pixar, and one of the girls is very, very big on Pixar didn't happen. So she was like, Pixar didn't happen, Pixar didn't happen. And so then she posted the photos Thursday morning, and we all were like, yo, give me.
And I waited a couple days.
And I sent Mom the link then on Thursday night because I was like, I sent her pictures. I was like, this needs, because I'm trying to do stash down of some sort. I'm trying to only buy as per specific rules. I'm trying not to buy as much. I think it's still going to happen for me because I need it. But
I've ordered
she also has been
trying.
trying.
Ninja and 2 of the pink. Well, just because I have so much.
Well, I'm so lucky that I just learned how to double knit.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to struggle with that.
That'll be great. I mean, there really are some good tutorials up.
I took the class at Vogue Knitting with Alistair Postquin.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
Wonderful.
Brilliant.
And then I was so nutty over his samples that he brought that I went and got his new book too.
Nice.
So I'll do something for like a hat or something for practice. Then when your pattern comes out, I'll be ready to go.
Yeah. It's gonna be just a straight scarf, we think. Just super simple.
Good.
But it'll still be double knit. But I mean, any of them you can really turn into a single into a just a color work, and then you can either back it with a piece of fabric, or you can just knit, pick up and knit to do a back so that you hide all your ends and the stuff in the back. But that's been our biggest thing recently.
Yeah.
What about what you're wearing? I'm curious with these.
So I'm wearing the Chevron tank by Susan Somers. So I was in the test for it, so I didn't realize, I think I need to knit a bigger size so that I can make the armholes a little smaller, because the armholes are a little large. But if I wear it with a cardigan, it is work appropriate. I also have worn it with a crop top underneath for long sleeves to wear it during the winter, because it's wool, and so it's really comfy. It's a really interesting construction.
I like the yarn.
Yeah, what is the yarn? That's what I was thinking.
I got it on Etsy like 2012. So I think it's called Forest Greener, I think, on Etsy. I don't know if they're still around. It's like pure wool in this beautiful green. I have 2 more skeins of it, I think. I got it. It was like insane pricing, like really good pricing.
Is it?
It's a little scratchy,
What
but
weight is it?
it's fingering.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's knit from collar, and then you knit. You pick up a knit like short rows to shape here, and then you start adding here, and then you do short rows, and it's pretty simple. It comes down into like a V in the back too. I like it. It's comfy. I pull it out every so often. I did not make the cardigan. The cardigan is from the Gap. And then this is Neighborhood Fiber Company. It's from the
sweater collection.
Yeah, the sweater club they did 2 years ago?
Maybe 3.
It's
been a while. It's Ann Weaver, and the pattern is Woodbrook. So what you got was, in advance they told you, it was a box came every 3 months.
So you got 4 sweaters in a year.
Right. They told you the designers who would be involved, so I went and looked, and they make sweaters kind of like my aesthetic. So I said sure, because I love knitting sweaters. And then as about, I guess 3 weeks in advance, they say, pick your yarn. And
they give you some details. They said it's a color work pattern. For the Hokie one, they told you it was cables.
Yes, they told you all that, and then they said then you can go into their colors and pick your coordinating colors, and then the box arrives. So this is Woodbrook, and I think it was the first one.
I think so too.
And I made so far 2 out of the 4 because I'm also like ADHD. My attention is
shiny things
that ergo the shimmer from Nerd Girls for the scarf. But I wear my sweaters constantly because they're warmer than the ones I bought usually.
And they fit.
They fit.
You can make them to fit, which is always my problem.
And I'm on a college campus, so winds blow.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have something that's warm. So I don't understand people that save their knits for like special occasions.
Yeah.
I don't. I wear mine
All the time.
all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I
When
do
in
think
doubt, wear it.
the thing about sweaters that I love is the fact that like you can make it to fit you.
That's true.
I have very long arms.
I have the opposite problem.
So does
I
she.
have like T-Rex arms.
So no. She can
My
knit.
coats come to here.
She can knit a pattern and it fits her perfectly. And I'm like, I have to add 2 inches to the sleeve. Because if you look, so we're shoulder to shoulder right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Like most sleeves come to here on me.
Yeah.
And that's just uncomfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll make them even longer. I'll hit them to the bottom of my hand.
Yep.
Because when I move my arms, it'll bunch up.
Right.
And because I've always had the problem with commercially bought things,
Yeah.
I think if I've made it, I'll think I've made it too small. Because it's just, I'm like, why didn't I made it for myself? It should fit me the way I want it to fit.
Right.
Right.
I've actually also, so like this is, I think, one size larger than I usually would get. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
To get the sleeve.
To get
length.
the sleeve length.
Right.
I actually have my favorite blazer I own. The sleeves are too short.
Aw.
It's so sad.
Yeah, well, I like it. I mean, 3/4 sleeves help with that sometimes.
Yes,
If you're
sometimes,
okay
yeah.
with not.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's my big thing, is that I love the fact that when you knit a sweater, you can knit it exactly how you want it.
Mhm.
And some people just don't get it. They're like, you're just making a sweater. And I'm like, yes, but it fits me.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand. It fits.
I like the whole thing about the making of it.
Yeah.
The
It's
fact that I did it.
Yeah.
I know where it came from. I understand its construction. I mean, it's not like I think they're sacred. They can end up on the floor just as easy as anything else. And in fact, probably more often, because I made it, I can do what I want with it.
Right.
But I like the making of things. I mean, I've knit since I was 5. I've sewn since I was 10. I used to make about half my clothes.
Mhm.
So I just like the construction of
Yeah.
things. I like knowing come the zombie apocalypse, I'll have clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will have clothes.
I mean,
Those of us who are makers will have clothes.
assets
That's
in
right.
an apocalypse for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that
I mean,
whole
that
thing
goes
about
on our
it
business card, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's like how you were saying about it can end up on the floor. My winter coat that I wear, it's black boiled wool with white embroidery.
And the
we found the
fabric.
fabric that way.
That's right.
We did not do that to it, but I made my winter coat with my mom. It was my 21st birthday present. So this the 6th winter I've had it. But I work in construction, and so I'll wear it to a construction site, and
It'll
people
get
are
dusty.
like, and it'll get dusty. I've run it into things, and people are like, why are you gonna wear that like on a? And I'm like, because it's my coat.
Yeah.
I don't have I have another one if I'm like, I worked on a Subway job a few years ago
Oh.
where I pulled overnight shifts. I would wear the other coat because it fit better with like the high-vis vest, and it just fit better with what I had to do for the day.
Mhm.
But if I don't need to wear a high-vis vest and a little backpack to carry all my stuff in it,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be going back and forth to the office, I can wear my coat.
And we
And
made
people
it
are like,
to be
why
warm.
are you... Exactly. You made it to be warm, but also, there's this thing called dry cleaners that I'm not sure, like, everyone understands. That, like,
Yeah.
you can send a winter coat to go get dry cleaned.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and so the cost was maybe a couple $100 for the supplies, and
It
But
was, I think, just shy of quadruple digits.
well, possibly. But we also put Thinsulate in it,
Mhm.
so it has that high-tech insulation.
Yep.
I've got flannel back satin as a lining, so
Yeah.
it's made to be warm. So for a construction site,
It's great.
it's warm, and that's
Yeah.
what you want in a winter
Yeah.
coat. Again, yes, dry cleaners. It's not a sacred thing. It's a
Yeah.
thing to be used.
And everyone at work is like, but it's your fancy coat. And I'm like, it's not my fancy coat. It is my coat. It
I
just
used
happens to
to-
be fancy. And
Yeah.
I think that's just the fact that, like, all else fails, God, it's dying, honestly, because where my bag
wearing-
hits,
yeah.
it's wearing the
We'll have to make
embroidery
another
back
one.
on where, like, the back of my right hip is pretty much worn off because that's where my bag hits. All my bags have hit there. That's just where I comfortably wear my bags, no matter if it's crossbody or a shoulder,
Right.
So
We can make another
We can
one.
always make another one. We have the pattern.
Yeah.
We can always go get the supplies.
I mean,
we
Mood
can
is
go to
here.
Mood. Like,
Yeah, right.
it's not a problem. And like, it took us 4 days of straight work. So I mean, we take a long
Right.
weekend or we take 2 weekends, and I have a new coat.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, and I think a lot of people don't realize that when you're a maker, it's not as sacred as when you're not a maker. And like, I think it's interesting because I said I work in construction, so we build things. I work with people, we build things for a living. Like, it's what we do.
Right.
So the fact that sewing and knitting, like I go in and I wear a sweater, or I have a tunic that's like my very first sweater that I still wear that I knit. I knit it 2 pattern. So the waist hits me right above my hip. The sleeves are slightly too short. And the entire thing, because I did not know about gauge, is giant until I threw it in the wash and promptly felted it because it's wool roving from Imperial Yarns.
Oh, we
It's
got
their
that
pencil
down.
roving.
Okay.
We got that
That
down.
had fiber space.
Fiber space in
And it's beautiful,
Alexandria.
and I loved it. And working with it, I was really I like thought it was yarn for some reason because I'm crazy, and I was like, oh my god, it's pencil roving. Like, this is roving. This is not supposed to really be knit with. It's supposed to be like spun or whatever. I did it anyways, and I knit it up, and it's beautiful. It's got bobbles. It's got cables. It's just phenomenal. I cannot wear it unless the high of the day is going to be less than 35 degrees out because it is so warm.
Yeah.
So I wear that to work, and people are like, you made that? I'm like, yes, I did. They're like, what? I'm like, you build buildings.
Yeah.
Like, you do HVAC work, you do electrical, you do plumbing, like, you do
things.
carpentry. Like, how do you not understand that, yes, I made this? It's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
You follow a plan, you have your supplies, you follow a plan,
You do the work.
and you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I find
You
it...
wear it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I had this problem with my mother makes me these gorgeous quilts,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
for a
nice.
long time I would only put it on my bed like if I was expecting company or something, and then when I would sleep I would fold it and move it off the bed,
Right.
so it would never like touch anything.
Right.
This one was black, white, and red, so I was terrified of putting it in the
Mhm.
laundry.
Right. Yes.
For the longest time, and then finally I was like, why am I doing this? I'm supposed to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, and I eventually did wash it, and I just threw a bunch of those sheets in that absorb the dye.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Good.
Right.
I'm
and then
glad.
I got a new one for Christmas, and I put it on the bed, and I
that.
sleep with it.
It's
and
beautiful.
Yeah, I love
It's
it
beautiful.
so much.
She's very talented.
But she is. But these things are made to be used.
They
Yes.
are.
It's true.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Which is something I think Nana has stopped realizing. I love her, but I made her a Fabergé by Laura Ayler 2
Okay.
Christmases ago. Which anyone who knows that pattern, it is a bottom-up triangle shawl
Uh-huh.
with a mother frickin' it's a ribbing pattern, but it looks like it's pleated edging that you start with. It drives you up a freaking wall. It's beautiful. I love the pattern. Like, I want to make another one. But it drives you up a freaking wall. And then you have this beautiful, like, little, like, quilting kind of quilted part pattern, which is beautiful as well. And then you have an eyelet section.
Mhm.
And I finished it. I had her pick up, I had 4 different Babs colors.
She picked out the
And I brought them to her, and I was like, I'm going to make you a shawl for, because you always say your neck is cold in your winter coat, because they had just moved up to DC. And I was like, okay, here are the 4 colors that I think would work well. Pick 2. She picked the 2 that go best with her coat, and the woman still hasn't worn it.
Yeah.
Her
Because
mother
it's so
became-
special.
Right.
Her
Which
mother
I
became
understand,
like
but
that.
it's just it's like one of those things that I also know that it isn't blocked properly. Like, I need to reblock it, but I also know that there's no real way for me to get it out of her apartment and then back to her apartment without like her being like, no, it's wonderful, it's perfect, you don't have to do anything to it. And I'm like,
Right.
for my own peace of mind, I just want to reblock it.
Well, her mom was that way.
I know.
We went through her drawers and we found things that we had given her like for 5 years, and they were in the box. Really well preserved.
Right.
That's the way she was. So my mom is using her mom as a model.
Yeah. Whereas your father, we knew him at Timber. So 2 years ago,
we
we gave it to him this Mother's Day of last year, so Mother's Day 2015.
Oh, this is fun. Yeah.
He came out into the living room of the beach house, which my grandparents owned down in South Jersey and have owned since 72. So like it's the beach house. We all go down we have to be there Mother's Day, Memorial Day, and Labor Day, unless you have other family, like if you have a significant other and you're going to their family, or you're still in school.
Yep.
So my little cousin, so when we were all in college, we wouldn't go down for Labor Day, even though I went to school in Philly. So like one of them, I managed
to get there.
I got there with 2 of my roommates because, or did I bring Liz? No, we didn't bring Liz. It was just Jen and Meg, right? Mm. And it happened to be one of my roommates' birthday and my parents' anniversary, and so it was really lovely for us to do a day drive down there. But nevertheless, I am tangential.
Yes. My father comes out
in this god awful lime green acrylic like the most bobble-rific Aran cabled sweater.
Okay.
I made this for him when I was in high school.
Okay.
His favorite color is green.
Okay.
His favorite color is green, and it's been through the wash.
God knows how many times.
At least 44 years. Do you understand how old this thing is?
Wow.
So this color was not the color it started.
Okay.
But it's the color it had achieved, and it was ghastly.
It's so bad.
And we looked at it and went, no. You need a new sweater.
We said no.
And he goes, but you made it. I went,
No. His first thought was, well, can you at least fix this? And he had like a hole. He had caught it on something, so it had a hole. So Mom like found like some, not the same yarn at all, but like some yarn, because it was like in a like underarm place, and she just like whipped it back together and goes, but you made it so you can fix it. So it's wonderful, and it's warm, and I love it,
And we were all wonderful things, but after 44 years,
it was just too much.
The baubles, it was, it was well loved. So
apparently he still hasn't let my grandmother throw it away.
No, but he is wearing the other one. So we looked at it and said,
no,
we're making you another one.
So we went, I forget who you saw it somewhere. You saw the pattern somewhere. Did you see it on Ravelry or on a podcast or something?
I think.
Because it's Timberline by Jared Flood. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful men's cabled cardigan. Beautiful. It's pieced.
I think I saw it on Ravelry.
And then we got a beautiful green from Miss Babs in Yowza.
Okay.
I don't remember the colorway.
Evergreen?
I don't know. And so Mom knit the fronts, the back, and the collar, and I knit the sleeves. Mm-hmm. And as we just demonstrated a little bit ago, my mother's arms are significantly shorter than mine. My grandfather's arms are also significantly shorter than mine.
We asked
my grandmother to measure my grandfather's arms.
God only knows.
I don't know where she measured it from or if she measured it correctly, so I was concerned because she told me 18 inches, and I was like, that's not right. That can't be right. What are you talking about? Because I have 21. I'm 21.
Yep.
And I was like, that can't be right. Grandpa can't have that. Grandpa has to roll the sleeves of his sweater. So it's the funniest thing to me, mostly because I'm like, I was concerned, and he doesn't mind because it means more warmth.
He doesn't care. Yeah. He really doesn't care.
He was just very so we knit him this sweater. We were gonna give it to him for Christmas, but I got very mad at the second sleeve. It misbehaved.
Messy.
You gotta make them at the same time.
It's messy.
Were they
it's messy.
It's messy.
No, they're in the round.
Okay.
Were they in the? Yes, they were in the round. But it was because the way the cables are very intricate. Oh. So I thought about doing it 2 at a time, but it's a tubular cast on and it's an intricate
it's
cable.
Quite
it's
involved.
Beautiful. Like I would probably knit it again.
And even the body of the sweater, I took the pattern and I printed because there's a couple different cable patterns.
Because you started at the bottom and you knit it flat around. So it's not pieced 2 fronts and a back until the armholes.
Okay.
Right. So and then I just taped them all together so I could just literally line through each one.
Yeah.
Because it's an intricate pattern.
Yeah.
He opened.
We gave it to him at Mother's Day this past year. So Mother's Day 2016. The man has not taken it off for more than to switch into a red sweater for Christmas.
Yeah.
Since.
Well, I mean, compared to what he was wearing before, it must be so luxurious.
But it's also this man, I've never met someone more knitworthy, I think, than my grandfather in this sweater.
So Yes, and so for Christmas this year, my dad has been diagnosed with some serious illnesses and combined, so he's not as active as he once was. He tends to sit and watch television, and he's always jelly. So I made him a lap robe type of thing that had boats on it, and out of Malabrigo. And he loved it. Loves it, and it's like on it Christmas Day.
Wait, a robe or a
no? It's a lap blanket.
Yeah,
yeah, lap blanket.
Okay.
And it's been on his lap since Christmas.
It's the funniest thing, just because like you'd never expect, if you had met my grandfather a few years ago, you would never have expected him to be
so appreciative
of
hand knit items, and now he's just
because he's always cold now.
Because he's always cold, and these are warm, and he just loves them, and he'll tell people, you know, my daughter or my granddaughter made this for me.
Yeah.
So
So, but like, so it's very interesting just the fact that like my grandmother won't wear the shawl that I spent.
But my father immediately puts it on. It's like there's no question.
His only comment about the Timberline was that it had buttons and buttonholes.
Right,
and he didn't
finding
need them.
Difficult.
He's
finding it difficult to do the buttons.
But he was like, he's like, I don't need that hole. Why is there a hole in this? And we were like, Grandpa, that's a button.
The button.
That's a buttonhole.
Oh.
But yeah, so that's.
You can just close those up. No, we're leaving them.
I don't need these. Yes, you do.
Yes.
It's probably because he's sleeping in it and he doesn't want to lay on the buttons.
Well, it's because he's sleeping in the chair, so he's on his back anyways.
Yeah.
I think it's also because it's getting harder for him to do the buttons.
Right.
It is.
But gosh, that man is so knitworthy. It's
very
funny.
Yeah, but my mother will just say things
and cherish it. But she remembers that I like, and she'll comment on the fact that I made it for her.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
that's funny. I wonder if my grandmother, I know there are some things she wears regularly, but I wonder if there are a couple things I made her more recently that she doesn't. Like I made her a cardigan, what I was talking about making out of cotton, and I don't remember what yarn it is, but it's on Ravelry, so you can check it there. She wears that a lot. She also wears a scarf I made her. It's like kind of lacy, but it's like a wool acrylic blend from my. I think before I knew how to make something that wasn't a rectangle phase.
Okay.
Yes. Which was not that long ago. That was grad school is when I picked knitting back up, and I was just on rectangles until I had a boyfriend to make a hat for, basically.
Okay.
But she wears that all the time. But there are a couple other shawls I made her that I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They might be folded in a box somewhere.
They might be folded in a box somewhere.
Yeah. I have a sweater I'm making my other grandfather, and I've gotten mad at it. It's the it's the Gramps by Tin Can Knits.
Oh,
it's so good. And I'm making like obviously the like 44-inch size. Like I'm making the size for it. And the worst part is that my dad told him I'm doing this, so like now my grandfather expects it, but I'm like so mad at the pattern still. Not at the pattern,
taking a while,
but like
you're mad at your father.
I am mad at my father, is essentially what it is. I'm still mad at my father for telling, because I was like, the point is that he'll eventually get a sweater. But for him, I bought at Mood a giant honkin' zipper to put in. And it's like the big plastic teeth. And I think I have to finish the body, and before I put the collar on, I'm going to have him try it on to see where the zipper should go. If it should go like here under the collar, and then have because it's a shawl collar.
Right.
But it's getting there. But I know that'll be worn because he also is always cold.
Yes.
But I am going to tell him that it is a only in the house sweater because he loses everything.
Oh, he loses jackets left, right, and center.
Oh no, that'd be so scary.
Yes.
I know. I'm also going to, so I know the Knitmores, they have those name tags of like, you know, if found, please return to.
Oh,
I'm going to make one of those for that and put it as their address and be like, if found, please return to them.
Yeah.
Because
But he's been doing that his entire life.
He has. He's been doing it as long as I've known him too, so it's like not unexpected, but that's I think also why I'm a little hesitant about like finishing it and giving it to him, because like
light zipper jackets, they're at least for a year. Gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
He has larger ideas in his brain, and the jackets get left behind.
Yeah. I don't even know how we got from where we were.
I don't know.
But that's okay.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what we've been, who we are, what we do. Do you have any other? Do you have any questions? We've just been rambling since you turned on the camera.
Well, you know, that's the point, right? Makes it easy for me. It's about you. All right, so you've got the new pattern coming.
That's coming out.
It's really
Yes.
exciting.
Our podcast, which we try to do once a week, which is nice because then
So
we get
much
together
better.
once a week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're also we don't edit it because I
don't.
will get quite anal about it, and
I don't know how to.
Yeah. So when Mom came to me at Rhinebeck and was like, "We're gonna start a podcast," and I was like, "We're gonna do what?" And she goes, "We're gonna start a video podcast on YouTube," and I was like,
This is this year.
"Yes,
Okay.
yes, this is 4 months ago, 5 months ago."
So around the same time I started mine was because I think I started mine in August or September.
Mhm.
We were
So
at
we were
Rhinebeck
right-
weekend.
Mhm.
And she goes, "We're gonna start this," and I was like, "We're gonna do what?" And she goes,
Yeah.
"We're gonna start this," and I was like, "Then you're in charge of of editing and uploading." And she goes, "Editing? We don't need no editing."
No.
We're just gonna upload this.
I only edit to get when I'm walking up to the camera to hit the button out of there, or if I have like a series of videos that happen on different days or
Right.
different locations.
Well, we don't know how to do that.
But
I don't know how to
you
do
don't
that.
know how to do that. So I do have a few videos. I have a video from early November from when we went up to New Paltz to visit a friend of mine, and we went to 3 different yarn shops up there.
That was fun.
That was super fun.
Is that you? Isn't there a farm up there too?
Yes, that's where we went. And Jill Draper sells out of there.
I want to plan a field trip for my meetup group, and that's where I was looking
It's
at.
so much fun.
And there are 3 stores
Yes.
in addition.
There's
Well,
2 other stores.
There's 2
Okay.
other stores, yeah. The farm has a store.
So the farm is
They
they
sheep in
welcome
the backyard.
people
Yes.
to come. Then I just
Yes.
need to contact them about it.
Yes, yes.
Oh, great.
And 2 rooms. One room is the store, and then the other room was where they were having a little knitting group.
Class, I think.
Class
I think they had
or
a class
something.
that day.
Oh, fun.
And
The
Jill,
sheepies were outside.
yeah.
and as I said, Jill Draper sells through them.
okay.
So there was Jill Draper
Some.
stuff
There was a small selection of Jill Draper. We think that it was because it was
She's
about
local.
3 weeks after Rhinebeck, so we thought maybe they were
Okay.
a little
she's
wiped
local.
out, or that she
And then they have yarn from the sheep.
yeah.
Right.
And then
They
they
have
have
some
other
other
yarn.
commercial stuff. Yeah. It's
It's well worth
shop,
it.
Yeah.
Then
And then there's the tea and knitting shop in Saugerties, which is super cute.
it's a little store, but very nice.
It's
Well,
also 2 rooms.
2 rooms, and it had some lovely things. It had some
Yeah.
yarn from England.
Mm-hmm.
And it's arranged in weights, and then of course tones within the weights. So it was really easy to find things.
Oh, nice.
The woman who was there was not an owner; was a worker. She was a worker, but lovely, absolutely lovely. Yeah, I really enjoyed her visit. Then where else did we go? I remember those 2 places. The mind is going.
I don't remember. I remember those 2, but I remember we went to a 3rd one.
We'll have to. So there are places to go up there. The farm is fun.
It's super
It's
cute. It's little, but it's cute.
Is that how far from a train station would that be?
oh, you
It's
need a
not-
car.
You need
I
a
know
car.
I need a car, but I was trying to figure out.
Where
if
is
I
it?
could-
It's on the way to Mohonk House. So if Mohonk,
It was kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
you
Yeah.
turn off this way to go to Mohonk, the resort on the lake, and you keep following along this way to get to the ranch.
I think I just need to find one of my meetup members who wants
a
to
car.
come. I don't mind renting a car, but I
Mhm.
haven't driven in about 8 years, so I
Yeah.
do not intend to drive others at this point in time.
Reasonable.
I'm sure I can find somebody else who would.
Well,
Probably,
depending on the day you go, we'll go.
Okay.
I haven't used iMovie since they updated it, so I need to relearn
Oh,
iMovie or put
I
them on
still,
mom's
like,
computer. And yeah,
I don't really know what I'm doing at all.
See, I was really good with the old iMovie. And they changed everything. And I was like,
I was never good with any of it. So
I don't know. I see other people's videos and I see things and I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. I want to do that. But how much time do I have to spend
Right.
figuring it out, you
I
know?
know, because you have like a job
and life.
and knitting
The job.
and all this other stuff to do, and it's
Yeah.
like there's just only so many hours that you can do for this.
Yeah.
I figure it's rare that we're doing something that would have to be edited out. I mean, we have a focus, we have a topic, and we generally stay on it. So
Mhm.
I figure we just upload it, and if it's total trash, then we'll just stop and do another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it called again?
Knitting in Our Jeans.
Knitting in Our Jeans, and that's the name of
Jeans, Genes.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's on YouTube. We have a Ravelry group, and we're also on Instagram.
Okay.
And we're doing the Yarn Love Challenge.
I know, I missed yesterday. I have to do it today.
You'll have to do it today.
That's right.
And we do every 2 days, we switch off on that account. For the Yarn Love Challenge.
That's a good idea.
least.
I keep ending up taking pictures of the same pair of socks because it's like my stripes. It's my in progress. It's
I'm trying to like definitely broaden my horizon in terms of like projects I finished and stuff. My stripes was my Reflected Lines cardigan.
Right.
My travel was, I went up to visit a friend of mine who lives up the block, and I took my fade, I took a sweater, I took the link, so that was that. But
ooh, let's look at this.
the fade.
Yeah.
So I just started it 2 weeks ago.
I was on such a roll at the beginning too, and now I'm on like the widest point. And
Oh
it's,
my
like,
goodness.
taking me some time.
So I just started color 3.
I love that. What
So
is that?
that is called Bones of a Miracle. It's from Nerd Girl Yarns. This entire shawl is actually going to be Nerd Girl Yarns. And it's on her Dingo base. It was a Instagram update. It's non-repeatable. I have another skein of it. I'm going to make a tank top. Either I think it's 003 tank top or another one of these. I haven't decided yet.
I like that a lot. I think I'll want to make one of those.
Yeah, I'd suggest going
relatively
because this is exactly the size I need. I'd make it maybe one size larger or add stitches here because as you can see, it's
when
a
you
bit
make it
deep.
larger, isn't the hole going to be larger though?
But you can seam it up better.
Right. Okay. So
Because I'm worried about it pulling too much and like distorting around there.
Is it in the round or it's
in the round.
It's in the round. Okay.
But you seam it. You're supposed to seam it up the side a little bit, anyways. She makes the armholes deep, and then you start, and so that you can seam it up however high you would like. So I'm debating here. I might make the top one size larger so that I can pull it and seam it better here, and then make the body the correct size and just decrease it a bit more. I haven't really dealt with the math of that yet, but we'll see. But so this is so far up through step 5 I just started. It's color 3. So this is spoilers on Bounce and Stomp. It's no longer in
production.
It's no longer in production colorway. I got it on D-Stash for a swap I did a few months ago. And then this is Hey There Earthlings, or something to the effect. It was a random fandom on Swanky, which is merino silk, maybe some nylon in there, I can't remember. And then, as I said, this pink, blue, purple is Bones of a Miracle on Dingo. And actually, if you look over here, there should be a bag. Yeah, no, that's my sweater. Sorry, it's another.
Okay. This one?
Yeah, that one. This has my other colors in it.
Cool.
So it's gonna go from Bones of a Miracle. So I actually got this yarn pop bag from a friend from Tanya, who is Tea Pearl on Ravelry. She's also the proprietor of Creative Knit Tensions. She has a podcast. I can't remember. It's Creative Knit Tensions. Creative Knit Tensions.
Okay.
Just in case you're wondering. So this is Bones of a Miracle, which is then going to go into Psychopath.
Ooh.
Which
nice.
I have a hat of, and I'm going to make mitts, and I'm going to wear them to Mardi Gras because I'm going to Mardi Gras at the end of the month.
Cool.
I love this colorway because it's purple and pink and hot green with some black that like kind of turns gray. And my boyfriend and I joke that it's us in a skein of yarn because his favorite color is the green and my favorite color is the purple.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the biggest fan of hot pink, but recently I've been more like, yes, give me the hot pink because you know what?
In your face.
Screw the patriarchy. So that goes it goes like that. And then
this is gonna be so neon.
And so this is on Dingo. Whoop! That's okay. This is on Heart You, which is just so this is,
and they're all Nerd Girl, and they're different sock bases, is what it is.
Yes. Okay. So this is superwash merino nylon, and it has little tweedy neps on it,
gotcha.
which is the Dingo.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, she's got a lot of her colorways look phenomenal on it. So this is Heart You.
A lot of different bases. Too.
Yeah, this is Heart You. This is 100% superwash merino. So this thing goes into this, which is Alien, which is also a random fandom colorway, and it's on Come Hither, which is merino cashmere nylon.
Nice. Okay.
Most of these skeins didn't have a project associated with them, which is why I decided to use them for the fade.
Yeah.
And then this goes into this, which is Beastie, another random fandom, which is her monthly club she does, based on obviously different fandoms. So the first one that I showed you, this is from the Earthlings is Independence Day. Alien, I think is Alien. I can't remember. I think it's just Alien. This is, hold on, I have to not sit on my foot like any longer. Ow. My foot just decided to start complaining. This is Beastie, which is Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. I was going to do the Sweet Dreams bonnets out of it.
Okay.
Because Sleeping Beauty, Sweet Dreams.
Yeah.
And then I found this.
But it's perfect.
It's perfect.
It is
and
perfect.
Then, so we go from Beastie to this mystery colorway. This is Pony. This is 50% merino, 50% tencel. And
it's super shiny.
It is super shiny.
Right away.
And it feels a little rough, but I don't know if right over there's a red shawl. Do you see it on the top
There's
there?
something, yes.
Bright red. So this is out of Pony, and it's been blocked, so you can feel the difference.
Yeah.
So it's nice when once it's blocked. It's a little rough in the hand. So that's gonna be my fade. It's great subway knitting, I've found.
You know, I'm a
Thus
rush
far.
hour girl, so I'm
I am
squished
kinda
and
too,
standing.
but
yeah.
But I mean, I'm on the E, and I take the E all the way down. So on the way home, I get a spot at the first, I get a spot at World Trade.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
I can sit and knit, and it usually doesn't get. So I too am a rush hour girl. I just got lucky.
Yeah.
So that's my fade. I'm really excited, also because I'm using different bases, which I find really interesting. Oh, I should mention Beastie was also Come Hither, I believe. Yeah. So this was also the MCN sock weight,
Nice.
which is really nice. Yeah, no, she's got
Can't
great
wait to
stuff.
see it. Now I have someone
know.
to race with to get my thing done.
Right.
Well, I have not been touching it. I'm sleeping with it. It's
Nice.
where my significant other would be.
Right?
For about the past week.
Nice. Yeah.
Under the notion that maybe I'll go in bed before I have to actually sleep and I'll knit a few rows. This does not happen because I
Just
have
turn off.
I have a dying addiction right now that takes me into the wee hours of the night.
Oh, good gosh.
Because I can't stop. I have something for you.
You're going to be
Wait,
doing
what?
some-
We get presents.
Don't look.
Oh
Close
my
your eyes.
God.
We get presents. Close your
I
eyes.
can't believe it. Our first present.
We get presents.
Oh, wow.
Okay, but the thing is, I don't know. Okay. I'm
Okay.
gonna sit.
Okay,
Okay.
you sit.
Are we allowed to open our eyes?
No, I
No.
shut.
Okay.
Okay.
Eyes shut.
Eyes
Alright.
shut, hands out, or eyes shut?
Yeah, hands out.
Okay.
But the thing is, okay. Alright, I have a present.
Okay.
I don't know. You may want to trade
Okay.
each other.
That's okay.
Don't open your eyes yet.
It feels yummy.
Okay. Now you can open.
Ooh.
They're very pretty.
They're both gorgeous.
They're very pretty.
You can decide.
I don't care.
I don't care either.
I want to see some cutthroat action here.
I think we're good. What are you? Asylum Fibers. I like it.
And what's the name? This is Voices. You should have this.
I should voices. I should have voices.
So this is a repeatable colorway.
Okay.
And this is, I'm calling them chaos. It's like the equivalent of just a non-repeatable color.
Right.
This is gorgeous. And the reason for Voices at Villanova, she was in the Voices.
Oh,
The singing group
that's
at the
what they
Voices is
called it?
the Villanova Voices are the female singing group.
So,
the
Do you
secular.
know a lot of other
Voices.
like choral singers or whatever in the area who knit?
I know a Some.
You know, I'm a singer, right? Like,
I was going to bring that up on our podcast because I saw that when you interviewed your friend who was the opera singer.
Right, Devin,
and like,
she is, you should YouTube her.
Okay.
She is a wonderful singer.
But I was going to bring that up on our podcast that you sing.
Well, we can still bring that up.
I don't, the thing is, a lot of my friends that I know who sing are,
This is beautiful.
they're from all, I mean, I have two friends. One friend, my friend Sarah, she's so funny.
Oh my God.
She hasn't sung seriously. Soprano. She hasn't sung seriously since we graduated college. And which is now going to be 5 years in May. But she's trying to get back into it, and her husband has a beautiful tenor voice. And she's got this gorgeous soprano, and so whenever she comes to visit me, we go to my choir in Port Washington. We're at the St. Stephen's Church, and I have been blessed to have the most wonderful church choir.
Oh, that's good.
Like ever. Like I have sung
a couple of our people
multiple
have sung
different languages
in operas
since I was 11.
Mm-hmm.
I never, and then I went to Villanova and I sang in the church choir there, and we sang things that I've sung in the original language in English because
they felt it was too difficult.
It was too difficult for a bunch of college kids to learn how to pronounce in a different language when we have 80-something-year-olds learning it for the very first time.
But you know what's even worse than that, though, is when they have whatever organization you're with has you sing in English, not because the singers need it in English,
but because the
to dumb it down for the audience.
And that was part of
that to be true.
That was part of it with Nova's choir. Not the voices. The voices, we sang everything in the original language, which was always fun because we did sing a few things that I've sung with my choir for years. Like we sang, my director at Villanova was so funny. She pulled out "E'en So Lord Jesus," which is something my choir sings every Easter.
Mm-hmm.
I have known it since I was 11.
Yeah.
She pulls it out and she hands it to the sopranos and she goes, "This is a little rough." And yes, it's the SSA version instead of the SATB.
Okay.
And I was like, "It's the same damn thing. I know this. I got this. We're good." And that was still when my big was in. So it was a year. It was at least a year before I had graduated because my big was still there. Mm-hmm. And she was in the sopranos with me, and so was Sarah. And the three of us really didn't have to reach to hit the high B that she was talking about. That was the hard part. And because I've known this song for so long, like it's just part of it. And sometimes when you know something like that, yes, you know it's supposed to be hard. But your body, it's the muscle memory. Your muscle memory.
So many times, yeah.
So that was funny. There's a Brazilian piece that we do every year. And that we did at Villanova when I was a freshman because we were going to go to Brazil for a trip. Mm-hmm. I did not get to go to the trip, but we learned it. And I was like, I know this piece. This is great. And then, of course, I came back to my choir and sang, like here at home over a break, and we sang it. And I was like, I finally got the rhythm of this one. Like, it's a measure. And I think it's called Salmo 150.
Okay.
Yes. It's like 8th note and 16th notes the entire time.
Okay.
It's hell on wheels. It's glorious. It's like one of my most favorite things to sing.
But it's difficult.
But there's this one measure that the rhythm, you're just looking at it going, you want me to do what with what?
Yeah, you have to just learn it.
But the thing is, like, I finally learned it because it was in the SSA, it's all soprano, but in the SATB, it's an interplay between the soprano and the tenor. Oh. So, like, the entrance for the soprano, I always, like, couldn't find it right until I had to learn it, and it wasn't an entrance anymore. Mm-hmm. And I was like, light bulb! So, nice. But that is why I need the one called Voices.
Okay. Yes. Now, this is not Voices like, okay, so this is Asylum Fibers, right? And the bass is Funny Farm.
Right.
And that's my MCN.
Okay.
Which
is yummy.
I like it a lot.
It's yummy.
Yes,
and it's got a really nice ply.
Like the voices in
your head. I got that.
Yeah,
but
cool. Yeah, it's a 3-ply.
It's nice.
It's nice and chubby.
And I teach class in organized chaos.
She does.
So I believe in a lot of action in a classroom. And people talking, whatever. I just encourage that. So I believe in organized chaos. So
this is great.
They are perfect choices.
And we both have an affinity for purples and this beautiful greeny blue.
Yeah,
so
that is
they were
just
perfect.
gorgeous.
Thank you so
That
much.
that
Thank
was
you.
on that color. I have a batch. There are 5 of that, and that was on my way to creating my repeatable colorway called Hydrotherapy.
Ah,
But it's very green.
Yes.
And that was not my intention.
Right.
But when I was making it, I was like, oh, it's so pretty though. I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
And it's not hydrotherapy, but I like it.
I can
It's
see
very
it.
pretty. That's really pretty.
I take it you're heading more in this for the hydrotherapy?
Yeah, there's still
A little bit
some
more
green
blue.
to it, and there's so it's like take this, make it more blue, and then add turquoise speckles.
Okay.
Cool. That
I
would be
like
fun.
it. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, most of the singers I know are from school,
Mm-hmm.
but I do know, and they also all knit.
I was thinking, how funny would it be to have a knitting circle where we also just did like a cappella?
Oh my god, so much fun.
And where could
Well, I was about
where
to
could
say
we terrorize people with this?
I was just about to say, why don't we just have like a singular like meetup like where we just bring all of our friends who can sing. Like I'll have my girls come in from all over. I mean, one of them right now, she's in Seattle, but she's great. Like I'll have one's in Florida. I can have my friends come in and stay with me for the weekend. Like we can just like go sit and do a
Especially if it was
do a stitch and sing.
prearranged and the music was distributed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we all just come
How
together.
cool.
And,
Yeah. Kind of like a flash mob type of thing. Or
That
a
would
random
be-
acts of art. They
would
did
be-
that in Philly. They did it. I did that with the Philly Chamber Choir with and they invited a bunch of choirs from the Philadelphia area, and the voices were invited. And we did Handel's Messiah. We did the Hallelujah Chorus in the Macy's
Huge Macy's.
in Philly that has the organ,
Oh my gosh.
and we did it there, and it was.
They
it
let
was
you
glorious.
use the organ.
They help
the
coordinate.
point of it was to use the organ.
Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I feel like this could be a fun thing for an in public day.
Yes.
April? Isn't it
No,
public
it's
April?
June.
It's June, okay.
Yeah.
I can see what I can coordinate. We should talk.
Yeah.
We should talk. Because that'd be fun.
It would be fun. Because it's an in public day, but the singing will bring even more attention to us.
Yes.
We could do it in like Bryant Park or something.
I was gonna say we
That
should
would
do
be
it
fun.
like Bryant Park sounds like a good play because
Yes.
it's small. We want to do it somewhere small, but also
with high traffic.
yeah.
Sounds
That'd be
good.
very cool.
And we could do it like over like we could start or we could all show up around lunchtime, eat, and then do it like every hour or something, and but just sit and it all
Knit in
together,
between.
Yeah.
and then just hang out, and then
sing something.
sing something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Cool.
Yeah. I like that.
I could even invite Mariah. She sings and she
And
knits.
knits.
One of my the lead soprano in my choir knits, and
Yeah.
so I think she'd get a kick out of it as
Yeah.
long as she wasn't working that day.
Right.
But
Cool.
yeah, we
Alright.
could totally work on that.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Thank you
So-
so much
Well,
for
thank
having me
you.
over.
Oh,